Now, Faro is the largest city in the Algarve, and it's home to the region's international airport. So most people just fly in, turn around, and leave town to go to one of the smaller cities or villages. And that's a shame, because at first blush, Faro is just another kind of industrial, nondescript city. But if you come to the old part of town, it is fascinating and has a lot to offer. We took the small regional train from our base in Tavira for a quick trip to Faro. It took less than an hour, and we spent some time in the late afternoon strolling in Old Town, watching the storks come home to roost, along with some other interested parties, grabbing some stills, and getting oriented before checking into our hotel. Now, I'm a big fan of Magic Hour because everything, like the Arco de Ville Gate for instance, looks great at twilight. So, spending a night in the city and enjoying a nice dinner was the plan. And the slack rope demonstration was the icing on the cake. We started our walk early the next morning. The old Belmarco mansion is currently a company headquarters, and the Faro Museum was formerly a convent. But the place I wanted to find again was in the Our Lady of Carmo church. I saw something there 40 years ago on my first trip to Portugal that has stayed with me ever since. Now, the church is very beautiful, but it's what's stashed out in the back that I still remember. You have to know what you're looking for, because they don't exactly make this place easy to find. The Capello dos Ossos serves as a resting place for 1,250 skeletons of Carmelite monks who were exhumed from Faro's overcrowded cemeteries in 1816. Doesn't seem quite fair after a life of service, but exhuming bones after 10 years to make room in cemeteries was common practice back in the day. This was the place, when I came 40 years ago, that really drove home the fact that I wasn't in New Jersey anymore. The sound of laughing children is a weird touch until you realize there's a daycare center right outside the chapel gates. But it was the sound of drums that broke the spell of the chapel, and that came from a big carnival parade of school children from all across the Algarve. The kids and their creative costumes were just what we needed to get back some positive energy for the rest of the day. When we got off the train in Tavira, we saw a poster for a folklore festival going on a few blocks away, And you know what they say, in for a penny, in for a pound. So we checked it out, and it was a wonderful way to wrap up our 3 weeks in Portugal. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little experiment in off-season slow travel here in the eastern Algarve. You know, I say off-season, but the winters are so mild here that the weather was never a problem. And even though we never wandered more than about 20 miles from our base here in Tavira, we never got bored. I think the secret is to slow down and really enjoy the local culture and dig into the local history, and stop looking for notches in your tourism belt. You know, as the great sites and the great cities become more and more crowded, slow travel may be the only form of sane travel we have left. I'm Bob Krist. Thanks for joining me.